What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. Joined, as usual, by the GOAT, the true OG, Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. Paulie, what's happening?
What's going on, man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed. We got our final MLB show of the week. And then we have a little football show to do tonight. Very excited that we are coming close to the week 2 main slate. Very excited football's back in our lives. Also excited, as much shit as I talk about baseball, it's definitely been helpful. So excited to have something to do, in between. Because when baseball ends, we're not going to have shit, right? We're just going to have football, which is cool. But also, when the fiends start fiending. You know what I'm saying? Fiends start fiending.
Yeah.
But I'm pumped. We had a really weird baseball slate today. Weird, I guess, it's just fucking big, right?
Like,
dicks? Ding, 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 ding. That's the winner right there. Appreciate those of you hanging out with us live. Please hit the like button. Those of you that as you are piling in. I guess we'll get things rolling, starting with starting pitching like we always do. Pitching up top. We got Glass now headlining it, I believe, along with Greinke, some other declickers. What do you like up there?
I do have a little interest in Max Fried. 9.8 against the Schmetties. A lot of lefties. He's been really good this year. Tyler Glass now seems to be like the top play, the optimal play, the highest ceiling play. Baltimore's been really good, and it's a good hitting park. If it was in Tampa, I could get really on board with it. But when he's on, it don't matter. Like, he's just basically untouchable. Zach Gallen against Houston, like, that really should work. Couple guys on Houston are starting to warm up, but nothing, that would really say like this team is back or anything like that. So I could deal with some Zach Gallen too. Don't think I have any interest in Hendricks. So down to 9K, free Glass now Gallen.
Yep, no, I'm with you. There's just a lot to like at every tier. Well, not even a lot to like. There's nothing that I love. Just a bunch of things that I'm like cool with. Glass now would be the main piece up top. He's going to be very popular. That's always concerning in the sport of MLB DFS. But terrible park. I agree with you. Baltimore's been a pretty good offense, but we do have strong winds blowing in. Same thing with the New York Mets game. To your point with Fried, on top of being a pitcher's park, there's some wind blowing in. So we have a couple spots of wind blowing. Temperatures are cooling, so it usually lines up better for pitchers. So yeah, I think Glass now, if I can find a way to get him, is cool. I don't mind Fried as a pivot just for the sake of ownership, right? You just know Fried's going to be significantly lower owned. What about the mid tier, Paulie?
Mid tizzle. Paddock hasn't been the same as last year, but Seattle's really got nothing to play for, and see what their lineup looks like. Not bad, but he seems viable. He should be able to get some strikeouts, pitching park, all that good shit.
This game's actually, by the way, this game is actually being played in San Diego. It's one of those, like, they're the home team is Seattle. They'll pitch first and all that, but technically this game is actually in San Diego.
Okay. Zach Plesac against Detroit. That should be chalky. I can get behind that. Chris Bassett against San Fran, I don't love, but I wouldn't be shocked if he went like 7, only gave up a run, a couple strikeouts. That's it, man. Down to 7.
Yeah, I think I'll start with Paddock. I do like Paddock. Paddock had a couple rough outings so far this year. Everybody's saying he didn't take the step forward they thought he was going to take. But lately, I mean, his xFIP is down to like the low 3s. His strikeout rate looks fine. Swinging strike rate looks fine. Seattle tagged him up pretty good the last time they saw each other, but Seattle had a lot more lefties. Paddock has shown a pretty strong split this year in favor of pitching to right-handed hitters, and Seattle's only got 3. At one time, they were pretty much all left-handed. So just a little comparison, Paddock has a 31.5% K rate to righties and a 20.7 to lefties. So I think that puts him in a pretty good upside spot. When he played Seattle, they did tag him for 6 runs in 5 innings, but he also had 7 strikeouts, so the strikeouts weren't really an issue. I'm with you. I think Paddock is highly in play. After that, I think that Plesac is like the obvious. Like, I expect him to be extremely popular, right? We just saw Bieber destroy the Tigers. The Tigers are first in strikeouts. They have been all year against righties. Looks like a good spot. There's wind blowing out to right field. Yesterday, that helped out the Indians. Didn't really help out the Tigers much. I don't think Plesac is as nasty as Bieber. That always worries me a little bit when a team just saw your best and now they're getting another guy. I always like, it's like at the gym. If you just fucking lifted, 300 pounds and somebody gives you the bar, and all of a sudden it's not so hard, And I'm not trying to diss Plesac, but I'll have a good amount of exposure to him. But I'll leave some room to have some teams without him just in case that goes the wrong way. But he seems like he's in a smash spot. What about the value section?
I'm not gonna do this, but don't be surprised if Martin Perez dirties the Yankees. Like people him, and he just has one of those games where he just hits every button on the variance train, and it just works out. But Jordan Montgomery, I think, is viable at 6-7. I think Kikuchi against the Padres is viable. Like, he's only given up 1 home run max in a start this year. And, like, he can get to striking guys out. He's cheap. It'll allow you to get, some of that 8.2 run implied Dodgers or whatever the fuck you want. I also think Jaime Barria is viable at 6.5. And you want to get really nuts, maybe you throw a flyer at Steven Matz, although I don't think you need to with all these other options on the slate. So Montgomery, Kikuchi, and Barria down there.
Yeah, I think we have options. Barria, I'll start with Barria. Yeah, he's terrible, but you know what? So are the Rangers. So something's going to win out, right? If you're not stacking the Rangers, then there's an opportunity for Barria to do well at his price. Kikuchi, absolutely. He's been extremely good. He's been very reliable. His numbers look strong. The Padres have been better against right-handed pitching this season. So I'm cool with him. But Matt, believe it or not, Matt's is actually one of my more favorites. Not optimally, obviously, but in tournaments, the Braves have been awful against lefties this year. It's not just strikeouts, just they're WRC plus, they're ISO, everything. It makes no sense when you look at this team. They're not that different than years past. They got a bunch of right-handed hitters. You would think they would smash lefties for some reason. And most recently, we had the success of using Keegan Aiken against them, who went for 30 DraftKings points that day and could have gone more. He could have went deeper. The O's just pulled him a little bit because the dirty was already done. So I do like Matz. My concern with Matz is he was recently relegated to the bullpen, demoted, if you will. This is like a spot start. So I'm concerned about pitch count, if there is any potential pitch count. But we've got 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing in at Citi Field. It's like 67 degrees, nice and cool. And again, he's facing a Braves team that's been god-awful against lefties outside of Marcell Ozuna and Adam Duvall. But even Duvall has like almost a 30% K rate against righties. Steven Matz, as bad as he's been, has a 3.52 xFIP, a 23.4% strikeout rate, and a 10.7% swinging strike rate. So as long as the Braves continue their ways of striking out heavily against lefties, I'm actually interested. For show. Keegan, this is because of that Keegan Aiken dude. He had me feeling good that day, and now I'm feeling ballsy. But I agree that there are other options. It's got him. Kikuchi feels like the safest, believe it or not, even though the matchup is shitty. On paper, he's just been the more quality pitcher. Barria is like and I think Matz is the upside guy because he's actually got a significantly strong strikeout matchup if he's on. Holla at your boy, street style. Let's go to the bats, Paulie. Talk to me about your Yankees and talk to me about the other bats you like.
All right, we can start with the Yanks. Like I said, I mean, they're red, fucking hot. This is the healthy, as good as the lineup as you can get pretty much for the Yankees. Facing a lefty in a hitter's park, it all matches up. I will be playing them, but I won't be surprised if this is the letdown spot because all good things come to an end. They are just way too fucking hot, and no one really was on them until yesterday I started to see some ownership. Today they'll probably be fucking popular as shit, and it doesn't work out, But I will have some because this checks every fucking box you want for the Yanks. So I'll have some, but I am cautiously pessimistic on this.
I feel the
Um,
same way with the Yankees. Like I'm gonna play them heavily, right? Like I'm gonna play them substantially as one of the main stacks. But you do get this feeling. The only thing I'll say about ownership is they may not be as popular as they should be because we do have cores, and I know the people are dying to play the Dodgers who are implied for 8.2 runs. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, they may not be the highest though. They may be the second or third, but they may not be the highest for what it's worth. Anyway, Paulie, who else you like?
I do like the Rockies and the Dodgers. That game just screams scoring. I like Minnesota. I think that they are like on the verge of a breakout, similar to what we saw from the Yankees this week. Byron Buxton's one of the hottest hitters in the world right now. Josh Donaldson finally starting to get loose. This is a nice lineup with Garver back. Polanco's batting eighth instead of cleanup like he's been doing. You got Jake Cave in there. Another team getting healthy at the right time. I know the wind's blowing in Chicago, so you're going to get them at 1%. Hendricks doesn't really get all that blown up, but I don't care. I just think that this lineup's going to pop, and I'm going to continue to play them. One of the teams I'd really like, though, is Oakland. I would like to see their lineup before committing. If it's like, Chris with a K Davis and Jake Lamb and like Noah Olson, and maybe I change my mind. You know what I mean? But I expect them to put out.
It's Listella, Semien, Canha, Olson, Jake Lamb, Sean Murphy, Robbie Grossman, Razor Ramon, and Tony Kemp.
What are they doing? Putting Razor Ramon and Jake Lamb fifth, but Sean Murphy's a stud at catcher. Mark Canha, Matt Olson, give me some Listella. I like the A's to get to Logan Webb and continue to do 30s today against San Fran. What else? Nope. No. I like the Braves. I know you're on the other side of that, but when Mats gets lit up, it usually gets really ugly. Then you're going to get a lot of the bad bats bullpen. You get 9 at-bats out of the Braves on the road. They should be pretty popular, too. Oh, and actually, one of my top 3 offenses that I forgot to mention is the Reds. Really like them today. Give me some Moose. Give me some Suarez, who just became a dad. Jesse Winker, Castellanos, Akiyama for $2,400 for real cheap. And I also like the White Sox. I think it's a really good game stack. I know you want to pick on Molly with more lefties than righties, but I don't think it matters with the White Sox. They're just going to crush this guy who throws like 65% fastballs. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I think
A's, Reds, White Sox, Yankees.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on a few of those, man. I like the Yankees. They'll be popular. It's no surprise. So I'll get the chalk stuff out of the way. I'm okay with the Rockies. I'm not going to be as high on the Rockies. I will be higher on the Dodgers. It's just they're implied for 8.2 runs, and you look at that lineup, it's just sexy dirty. Same thing with the Yankees. If you look at that lineup, it is just fucking stacked. We've got Judge and Stanton. Like, this is what the lineup is supposed to look like, and this is why you remember. Oh yeah, the Yankees are pretty fucking good when you look at what they look like when they're pretty healthy. So, yeah, I like the Yankees against Perez. They've got some BVIP there as well. And I like the Dodgers, if you can find the pitching to make that stuff work. After that, I do like the Reds against this Jonathan Striever dude, who I anticipate having an issue. He doesn't really do much. He throws a lot of fastballs, around 60% or so. Malley, the one thing I'll say about Malley, the reason Malley's been better against righties is because he's throwing like almost half, like he has a very high percentage of sliders he's throwing to right-handed hitters. Either way, he is home run prone. And the White Sox are a boomer bust team, so I do think the White Sox are definitely in play. I also think that goes one of two ways. I don't really see, unless Malley gets hurt, I don't see that middling, right? Either the White Sox are going to just beat the shit out of him, or he's going to strike out 10 of them bitches, because the White Sox do strike out against righties. But the Reds I like regardless. Against the one thing that I don't like is the White Sox bullpen has been fucking crazy good this year. They've been like, I think they're second in XFIP right now. Phenomenal. But we have a small park, a lot of lefties. They can get to them early, get a different type of bullpen, get that long relief action, and they'll be in good shape. I think the Brewers are interesting. They burn me just about every time I talk about them. So what's one more time? Danny Duffy is a guy capable of strikeouts. He's also a big fly ball guy in a park downgrade in Miller Park. The Brewers have been better against lefties than righties this year, though they are striking out at a higher clip recently.
Yeah, Ryan Braun's red hot.
Yep, Ryan Braun, Avi Garcia leading off. You got Gallardo, Keston Hiura, who's done nothing. Yelich, of course. So I do like them. The Royals bullpen also nothing we're afraid of, especially in a park downgrade. So I am interested in Milwaukee. And the last team that I'll talk about here are the Angels. They're going to go starting with Jimmy Herget, and then followed by some other dude named Wes something. I forgot his last name. Looked into him, didn't see anything special with the kid Wes. Like I think that there's just his strikeout stuff just doesn't look very good. So it's essentially a bullpen game for the Angels against the Rangers, right? A bullpen game for the Rangers against the Angels. So I think that I will take most offenses against the Rangers bullpen when given the opportunity. So I do like the Angels as well. And that is basically, as Paulie would say, Dasi.
Like what?
Dasi. Like dicks. If you have any questions, Nations, get them in the chat. See you YouTube. Shout out to Tony A. Tony A is always in here dropping like just good information. So shout out to Tony A, man. He's in here all the time. Reminds us that Free just got off the DL. Watch his pitch count. I don't think he missed too much time, but he did technically have a DL stint. Shout out to Tony A. Let's see. Our boy Chadwick. Yes, Yankees lineup is stupid. Yes, it is. Home run call's been on point lately. We appreciate you, Chadwick, for the shout out there. He likes Bassett on FanDuel. So get the questions in. Paulie, we're gonna do the home runs now. What's happening?
I want to just throw in that I also like the Tampa Bay bats today.
Tampa against Cobmeister. Big park upgrade for him, obviously. Like massive.
Yeah.
Massive like what?
I'll take Brandon Lau.
Brandon Lau. I'll go Ryan Braun. You kind of just served that one up for me, so we'll do the dirty that way.
Braun. I'm gonna go with Tommy LaStella.
I'll go with let's go with. I'm gonna take an angel here. I'll go with Anthony Rendon.
All right. And I will go with good call on Jose Ramirez yesterday, by the way. That was nice. I'll go with Mike Moustakas.
And I'll go with Toit Luke Voigt. I mean, you like that? Toit Luke Voigt. You know what I'm saying? Austin Powers style. What was that guy's name? Goldmember. That was it. Goldmember all day. All right. Let me see if the YouTube chat's waking up. Here we go. A very good question. Very forward question from our boy Chad. Would you rather stack the Dodgers or the Yankees? Just flat out. If you're doing one team, you got one choice. Would you rather do that or that?
The Dodgers.
The Doyers. I don't think I've ever seen a team implied for 8.2 runs. I don't know if I have. I mean, and listen, that's just a Vegas, line. But I'm just saying, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It's pretty wild. Like, to have a total that high and a team favorited by that much. It's like, damn. Pretty big. Chad gets it. Toy like a toy. Yes, sir. I don't see any other questions. Last show of the week, guys. So have a good weekend. Tonight, be back at it with the NFL Wise stream. Paulie D, Patio Joe. I'll be producing that bitch, and I'll probably have a little our new stat sheet up on there, so you guys can follow along, look at some of the stats, look at our projections, see who's doing dirties to who, when, why, where, and how. Anything in closing, Paulie, before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Holla at your boy. See him in the streets. Whoop, 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 like dicks.
Perfect outro. Paulie D for myself, the entire White Tech Nation. As always, good luck.
Yeah.